Nothing in this podcast or on our website should be construed as medical advice. Consult your healthcare provider for your individual nutritional and medical needs. The information presented is based on our research and is strictly that of the author and not necessarily those of any professional group or other individual.
Hi, I'm Sue Becker from Bread Beckers. Welcome to Sue's Healthy Minutes. I'm so excited you've joined me today, and I hope this episode encourages you and allows you to find the answers you have been praying for the health of you and your family. Today on Sue's Healthy Minutes, I want to share with you a few encouraging testimonies I have received over the past few months. They are always such a blessing to me, so I thought would hopefully bless you as well. The first story I will share came in an email from someone named Laura. I usually prefer when I get these emails to contact the person and have them as a guest to let them share personally with you all. But my schedule has been so full right now that time has not permitted me to do that. So with permission, I reached out and I asked Laura if I could read her story on my podcast. I'll follow up as soon as possible to have her as my guest to share with you for herself. She does share some lab results, so as I read her email, I will interject to explain those numbers. But here's what she wrote to me. To Sue Becker, I want to reach out and say a huge, heartfelt thank you for all the knowledge and encouragement you've shared through your podcast, YouTube videos, and teachings at the Bread Beckers. My daughter and I have been gluten-free for about 6 years now. The transition was especially tough for her. She was only 5 at the time, and it was a complete lifestyle shift we were both thrust into. We managed it well overall, but we always still craved real bread. For the last couple of years, I've struggled with constant lethargy and could barely keep up with my workouts. In April 2025, blood tests confirmed I was severely anemic. Now, I'm going to stop there reading and I'm going to read her results, but then I'll interject what is normal so you'll know what these test results mean. So Laura says, iron at 13 micrograms per deciliter. So just so you know, normal is 60 to 160. Then Laura says ferritin at 4 nanograms per milliliter. Okay, and I'm going to interject, normal is 13 to 150. And then Laura goes on to say her iron saturation at 3%. Just so you know, anything less than 20% is considered low and of concern. So I will go on with her email. I threw everything at it. Iron supplements, absorption helpers, the works, and retested 4 months later, only to see the exact numbers. I was devastated and on the verge of scheduling an iron infusion because the exhaustion was affecting my business, my family, everything. Just before pulling the trigger, a friend asked if I had heard of you and freshly milled flour bread. I laughed and said, no, I'm not exactly an Amish Betty Crocker. But curiosity won and I dove in, binge listening to your podcast and watching tons of your YouTube videos, especially on how fresh milled flour can impact iron levels and overall health. I decided to go all in. I got the mill, the grains, and everything you recommend and started making my own bread. The first few loaves were, let's say, learning experiences, but I quickly got the hang of it and began eating 2 to 3 slices a day. By week 4, I could feel the difference. My energy was returning. My husband even commented that I wasn't complaining about being tired anymore and had stopped needing afternoon naps. To be sure it was the bread and not lingering supplements, I stopped everything else. On December 24th, I got retested so I could share the results with my family over Christmas break. When I saw the numbers in my Function app, I started crying. Iron up to 57 micrograms per deciliter from 13. And I might interject, that's almost up to normal. 60 is the lower limit of normal. Ferritin at 7 from 4. And saturation at 15% up from 3%. Again, an almost normal number in just a matter of a couple of months. It was incredible and undeniable proof that the fresh mill bread was the game changer. And even more amazing, my daughter had struggled with about 20 warts on her hands for years. They've all completely disappeared now just from eating the bread. She's thrilled. Your message about Jesus calling himself the bread of life used to confuse me. How could bread be so bad for us? Now I get it. Real bread, made the way God designed, is life-giving. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the information and inspiration that has drastically changed our lives. We're now sharing the gift of freshly milled flour bread with our family, friends, community, and church. Many are jumping in and experiencing their own transformations. You're making a huge difference in so many lives. With deep gratitude and love, Laura. What an amazing story and testimony. Next, I want to share a text message I received back in September from my good friend, Dr. Ben Edwards of Veritas Wellness in Lubbock, Texas. I first met Dr. Ben about 6 years ago, and I've had the wonderful privilege of speaking at his clinic 2 times, as well as sharing the stage with him as speakers at the Need Your Cure conference in Oxford, Mississippi. If you have never heard his story, be sure to check out my interviews with Dr. Ben Edwards in episodes 135 and 176 of Sue's Healthy Minutes, and of course, his podcast called You're the Cure, as well as his Veritas Wellness program. He is a brilliant and humble doctor. So back in September, he wrote this to me. I just had to share 3 stories with you. I was asked to come to Midland, Texas to give a talk last night just on truth in medicine in general. After my talk, I had 3 separate testimonies from some random people that have been eating the fresh milled bread. 2 of the testimonies were from one young mother. One of her little girls has epilepsy, on seizure medication, and would still have breakthrough seizures. In the past 12 months of eating fresh milled bread, 0 seizures. Her other daughter has brittle bone disease and has had 30 fractures in her first 3 years of life. But after 12 months of fresh milled bread, she's had 12 months of fracture-free living. Praise be to God. The last one was a middle-aged cowboy preacher who had just had knee replacement surgery 4 months ago. He had never heard of me or you or anything about the truth of food. His daughter bought him our You're the Cure program, and he sat down after surgery and watched the whole thing, ordered all the stuff for fresh milled bread, and he lost 22 pounds, feels like $1 million, and says his knee that just had surgery feels better at 4 months than his other knee that he's had surgery on 2 years ago. He goes on to say, anyway, just wanted to share. I know you get tons of these, but that brittle bone disease one blew me away. Keep being who God made you to be and preaching that truth, sister. Have a great weekend. I cannot begin to tell you how excited I was to hear each of these stories. Dr. Ben wasn't even speaking on bread, but these people shared their It's the Bread stories with him because he advocates real bread in his health protocols. Today, I hope that, like Dr. Ben and me, that these stories blow you away and that whoever needed to hear these testimonies today, you're beyond encouraged. May God bless each and every one of you with wisdom from above as you listen to these stories today. And remember, He hears and answers your prayers. Perhaps one of these testimonies is the answer to your prayers. Until next time, this is Sue Becker from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minutes.
Sue's Healthy Minutes podcast has been a presentation by the Bread Beckers Incorporated located in Woodstock, Georgia. For more information, store hours, and learning opportunities, visit breadbeckers.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast and never miss an episode. Share this with 2 friends who would benefit from this information, and be sure to join us again next week for more of Sue's Healthy Minutes.